Hey there. Do you like my little countdown? It's because my Restream software has been cutting off the beginning of some of my audio lately. So I thought I'd just do my own little countdown today. So welcome to day 4 of Live for Life Satisfaction. I'm so glad you're joining us today. I'm Viv, Deep Life Satisfaction and Happiness Strategist. And today we're going to talk about, briefly, because it's a Sunday, right? We're going to talk about briefly how to go from angry and really upset, right, to calm and cooperative. So this might sound like how to get out of a tantrum, and I like to use my son for inspiration because a lot of times when we're in these really emotional, unproductive states, it's actually our, inner child acting like a child. And so a lot of the same strategies apply, which is why I'd love to share with you today a story from me and my toddler son that actually happened today. And so we went for our morning walk, right? And everything's fine and dandy. And then my husband found a shell on the beach. And, he was looking at the shell and then giving it to me. And my son was like, I want the shell, give me, shell, right? And we're trying to teach him, like, don't demand, don't yell at us for things. I don't know where he got that from. Couldn't be me, But in all seriousness, in all honesty, it's just a crazy toddler time that we're experiencing. And so we're trying to teach him not to yell at us for what he wants or demand what he wants, but rather, ask nicely. And, for kids of any age, that's kind of hard sometimes when you see something like, oh, gimme, right? And maybe as adults, we can feel that way too sometimes, but we've learned a little bit more control and social etiquette, hopefully. In any case, so this became kind of like a 10-minute tantruming, working through discussion thing. And I refused to give him the shell until, and I told him, I want you to calm down. I know it's easy to say that, but I just told him, when you calm down, baby, when you calm down and you can ask for it nicely, then I'll give you the shell. We've gone over this before when he wasn't in a tantrum, right? But of course, the tantrum proceeds. He can't calm down. And I'm like, oh, baby, I know it's hard to calm down. I know you can't calm down. Do you need a hug? Do you need some help? He's like, I just want the shell, right? So, we're proceeding, and we get to a point, and I went down on my knees. I try to go actually below his eye level, but he kind of just, it's funny, the lower I go, the lower he goes. And oftentimes both of us will be squatting in the hallway or outside on the sidewalk because I'm just trying to get to his eye level, but he just mirrors me, right? So I squat, he squats, and then I kind of go like this. In any case, so I'm just like, baby, I know you want the shell, right? And mommy said, you need to calm down and be in a calm state. And from a calm state, then you could it would be easier if you're in a calm state for you to ask me in a way that's not demanding and yelling and aggressive, right? And so, but I'm going to help you calm down, right? Because I know it's not easy, like most of us adults don't have this ability. Well, I shouldn't say most of us, but some of us, some of the time, or a lot of us, some of the time, seem to lack this ability. So I said, I'm going to help you. And I said, remember, by the way, before, he's still kind of protesting, right? So he's not like, so I just went in for him to a happy memory. He loves going to the zoo. He loves animals. So I said, remember when we went to such and such zoo, right? And he's like, I don't know where you're going with this. And I'm just like, remember the lions? He's like, oh yes, I remember the lions. Remember the meerkats? Oh yeah, those were really cool. Remember the birds, the bird show, and the wings flapping around your hair? And he's like, yeah, that was kind of nice. And I just kept bringing up all the richness and the details of this happy memory of us going to the zoo. And, it just took about 2 minutes, but I could see his, emotions and demeanor changing. Like at first, that anger, that frustration, that I want, demand energy, it's pretty strong, and he's smart. Like he doesn't want to lose grip of what he wants. But he's like, oh, that memory you're talking about, that does sound rather nice. I kind of, yeah, I can't help but, oh, you're reminding me, right? So we kind of, I spent like, 2 minutes maybe just kind of developing like all the different parts of that memory. And then he was in a good state, right? And then I said, see, baby, now how you feeling? You're feeling better, right? You're feeling calmer. He's like, mm-hmm. I'm like, now do you want to ask, you want the shell? Do you want to ask mommy nicely for it? And he's like, mommy, can I please have the shell? And I said, of course, baby, of course. I'm just trying to teach you that, you can get a lot further in life when you can change your state to become calm, right? And ask for things in a nice cooperative way rather than yelling at someone and demanding something, which adults do sometimes. Not that I've ever done that. But anyways, so um so this is actually the trick that I wanted to share with you. It's about changing states, right? So how to go from an angry, upset state to a calm state. And it really is as simple as thinking of a memory that was profoundly happy, and I'm saying happy, right? And it might be hard for you to really go into the happiness, but if you try to go into the happiness, you might at least get to the calm, right? And I know as adults, we have a lot of mental stuff that likes to churn. And if you're at a point where you're still self-sabotaging yourself and finding this difficult, don't worry. I will touch upon other tricks and tools later. So just stick with the lives. I'm going to be doing this for 30 days. So just stick with that, and you'll learn some more tools on how to not sabotage yourself. However, that being said, if you are already committed to being happier in your life, committed to not suffering, to not never feeling anger. We all feel anger and upset sometimes. That's normal. That's part of being human. But not to stay in that horrible feeling of suffering, really. I feel like when I'm angry anyways, and I feel like I'm suffering. When I'm really sad or upset, while it's normal, and sometimes grief is another thing, but I certainly don't like to stay in those states. So I'm committed to living a life of happiness, joy, and fulfillment. And if you also commit or want to commit or have already committed, right? Then again, it's everything we mentioned in the last lives, right? It's that decision, that intention, the decision point, like, oh yeah, I'm stepping into anger. I'm already angry, or I'm already upset, right? Do I want to be this way? Or can I choose a tool that I've learned to take me out of it? And it could be many, many tools. This is just one. This is a simple one, and the more you practice reliving, rehearsing these positive memories, the easier that it's going to come, right? And the better you're going to be able to build them. And the happier you get, and the easier it is to draw upon and relive these experiences. Another cool trick, by the way, is you can use these with other people. Meaning, if someone is experiencing upset, frustration, whatever, you can try to pattern interrupt. This may or may not work, but if you do it tactfully, you can pattern interrupt their upset and say, hey, remember that time? And bring them into one of their happy memories. And with some people, this, especially when it's covert under their subconscious, they're like, oh, what, huh? And next thing you know, you bring up a happy memory, their emotions will start to change. And then they might want to come back to their, because we have this tendency to want to come back to, wait, hold on, I want to pick up my upset. It was right there. I don't want to lose it, right? But you can, oh wait, hold on, remember that was so fun, or the other memory, and the more you kind of interrupt that, and you kind of put in a positive memory there, the more you change that other person, you help them change their state to something more positive. And then you can also, with changing your state to something more positive, calmer, limbic system calm, then we can have a more cooperative atmosphere and a place where we could really act from a place of intentional decisions, decisions that we actually want to make, that are in line with the results that we want to get, right? So that's another little hack. And just one more thing. Again, if doing this, just thinking of a positive memory to change your state is difficult, I know it can be. You can also go back to the first live session about emotional mastery, where I taught, the breathing technique, because that breathing technique, or any, forceful breathing technique, and I'm going to talk about more breathing techniques in the lives to come, maybe even tomorrow. They really help to change the state powerfully, right? I'm just talking about something you can do very easily, very quickly, very privately in your head, and spend the time. It all starts with the intention. What do you really want out of life? Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to choose this every time you get upset, to ultimately change your patterns and the negative cycles that you go down, right? So that you can have a happier life, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Maybe. Anyway, I would love to hear your experience. If you have successfully done this in your life, like if you've ever randomly done this, or it just came to you, or maybe you did it with someone, or maybe you did that pattern interrupt and it was like a hilarious story. I would love to hear that. So please share that in the comments, not just with me, but with everybody who likes to read comments, right? And if you got value from today's session, please show a little love, share, like, follow, subscribe, and join us again tomorrow for another live for life satisfaction. I'm so glad you came.